What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we are going to chit chat about the Mossberg Shockwave. Now this is the only shotgun firearm that I have ever sold, regretted, and I went out and bought another one. Something about these little shotguns that I really love. So we're going to talk about the features of this shotgun. We're going to talk about the pros, the cons, the uses, what I think of it overall, and of course the testing that I've done on these Shockwaves. Disclosure first, I do work in the firearms industry, just so you know. I have a terrible memory, so I'll be looking at my notes a whole bunch. Don't have any connection to Mossberg in any way, shape, or form. I bought this shotgun with my hard-earned money. Silly ATF. This is technically a firearm. I'm going to call it a shotgun, so don't get too mad at me. I did buy it. I did overpay for it because I bought it on Gunbroker several months ago when prices were crazy through the roof, but I really wanted another one, so I don't care that I paid a little extra for it. Oh well. I will put several affiliate links down in the video description for you. Hoping I can find you guys a good deal. Check the links if you're looking to pick one up. Maybe I can find one in stock at a fair price. God knows, right now pricing on firearms is pretty crazy. Last but certainly not least, if you couldn't tell, no, I am not at home with the nice wooden background and the American flags. I am on vacation. I am down in Florida chilling by the pool, but gun reviews never end. Anyway, let's get right into it. I've talked enough. What is the Mossberg Shockwave? It's pretty much a Mossberg 590 that they shrunken down to a miniature size. That's it. Simple as that. Review's over. I'll see you later. Obviously, I am just kidding with my corny dad jokes. One of the things I like the most about this gun is the pistol grip. Those straight up and down vertical pistol grips on shotgun I'm not a huge fan of. They really hurt my wrist. I've broken the right wrist twice, the left wrist, the right wrist once, the left wrist twice, and those vertical grip shotguns really hurt. But this style pistol grip I love. It feels good. It's a little on the slick side. I'm probably going to put a set of Talon grips on here. But the angle of it is absolutely fantastic. One of the cooler parts about this is you can actually put a brace on this, and it still does not fall in NFA items. It still falls into a firearm or whatever they want, silly ATF wants to call it. So you can put a brace on it, and now you have a really small shotgun without having to deal with any of the NFA nonsense. Sling points. You have a sling point on the rear and a sling point up on the front, which is not perfect because it's really close to the barrel. With that said, I haven't had any issues on it at all. I don't know if I'm going to keep the sling on it, but I put it on there just for now. My favorite feature on pretty much any Mossberg shotgun is going to be the tang mounted safety. I think this is the best safety on any shotgun. Not a huge fan of the crossbolt safety. This is nice for lefties, for righties. It's just very intuitive and very easy to use. The top of the receiver here is tapped and drilled. If you want to add a rail, a scope, anything, red dot, something like that, you can. This particular one I bought was used, so the screws are not in there. I don't know if they fell out or if the previous user took them out. No idea. They're not there, just so you know. The trigger is fine. It's a shotgun. I don't really care how precise and great the trigger is. If it was a pistol or a long distance precision rifle, then I would care. It's a shotgun. Spray and pray. No, it's a shotgun, so the trigger on there is fine. I don't really care. The release for the pump, like I believe all Mossbergs, if not most, if not all, is right here next to the trigger guard. I love that release that a lot of shotguns have. It's just in a great spot. It's very easy to use, very intuitive. Your middle finger's kind of already pressing up against there, and it's just very easy to run the shotgun. The pump itself is fine. It is made out of polymer, and like most Mossbergs, it can be easily changed out if it is not your jam. The texture on here, or the ribbing on here, whatever you want to call it, is good, even though it's slick polymer. I've never had my hand slip off or move when I was shooting it at all, so that is fine. It has a little safety tether lever so your hand doesn't come off there, which is good. My only beef with it is it doesn't have any M-LOK slots. Some of the Mossberg Shockwaves do. This particular one does not. Now I understand why they wouldn't put it on like the wood furniture one. That makes sense, but this one I wish it had an M-LOK. I think any defensive firearm, in my opinion, should have a light on it, or at least the ability, like if it's a pistol, to run it one-handed with a handheld light. you can't shoot what you can't see. So what I did was I got this adapter from GG&G. It just goes on the end of the magazine tube, and it gives you a few slots of Picatinny rail, so you can add a light, a laser, or a doohickey. So Mossberg makes these in a ton of different versions. They have 20 gauge, they have 12 gauge, they have 410 as well. My favorite one is going to be the wood furniture. That's the one I wanted to get. It just wasn't available at the time that I wanted to purchase one. They make one with a handle, which is great for breaching. They make another one that has a pick rail on top, a heat shield over the barrel, and even a removable shell caddy. There's other ones that come with a side laser, a side saddle laser. You know, it's not a half bad idea, because my dog's going crazy at the squirrels. Because I think these are much easier to shoot at the hip than they are up at eye level, and that's the case. I'm not a huge fan of lasers, but if you're going to shoot it down at the hip, I guess it's not a half bad idea. Regardless, if you are going to get one of these for home defense, self-defense, make sure you practice with it a lot. You need to know, especially if you're going to hip fire it, how to be accurate, how it patterns, and just training. Make sure you're spot on with that. As far as capacity, most of them have a 5+1 capacity. There's one that has a 6+1 capacity, and there's also a magazine-fed version that gives you a 10+1 capacity. Now, one note about the capacity, and one of the reasons I got this particular shotgun, is you can toss in the Aguila or the Federal mini shells. I'm sure someone else makes them. I just been rocking the Aguila mini shells because that's what my local gun stores had in stock. So instead of a 5+1 capacity, when I use those Aguila mini shells, it goes up to an 8+1 capacity, which is dope. 5+1 I was hesitant on. 8+1, now we are talking. I'm a little bit more comfortable using something like that. Now they make them in birdshot, buck, and slug, so you can rock it however you want. I have buckshot in here right now, but I do have a box of slugs with me as well down here on vacation, just to be safe. One note about the mini shells, you can't run the mini shells right out of the box, right out of the factory. There's this very small adapter from Ops something, I'll put the name on the screen, I forgot the name of it. 15-20 bucks, it's not very expensive, whatever it costs. You do have to put that inside of the shotgun where you load if you want to run the Aguila mini shells. Like I mentioned before, I used to own one of these Mossberg Shockwaves a few years ago, and I probably put a couple thousand rounds through that Shockwave. This one here I've had for a few months, and I put a few hundred rounds through it. Not only did I shoot 2 3/4 inch shells in bird, buck, and slug, I also shot a bunch of the Aguila mini shells in bird, buck, and slug. Again, I brought this down on vacation with me. The SIG P365 and the Mossberg are the only 2 firearms I brought on vacation with me for self-defense. So I really wanted to make sure it was good to go with those Aguila mini shells before I brought it on vacation. And it was. All the rounds I shot, we had 0 malfunctions, issues. It ran absolutely flawless with no problems. Obviously I shot it at eye level, I shot it at hip level, I shot soda with it, I shot shaving cream, indoors, outdoors, shot it in the rain. I did a lot of different pattern tests to see how it would pattern at different distances with different load. I really wanted to make sure I was spot on. Like if I have to shoot this inside a house, I want to make sure that I know exactly where it's hitting and how it is patterning. Through all of that testing, I'm going to say my biggest pros is going to be the reliability and durability of Mossberg Shockwaves. I think most people would agree with me when I say Mossberg Shockwaves are typically very durable, reliable. They extract very consistently with the dual extractors. I think I forgot to mention that earlier. I have no problem trusting my life and my family's life to a Mossberg shotgun, firearm, whatever you want to call it. I think they are absolutely good to go. I love the tang safety. That's probably my favorite feature overall. I think it's just much easier than the crossbolt safety, especially if you have lefties and righties in your family. That is a very, very great feature. And I think overall, I love how you can get a smaller shotgun without having to deal with the ridiculous NFA process. Especially in Rhode Island, we are not allowed any NFA items of any kind. None. No suppressors, no full auto, no short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns, nothing. Which is absolutely ridiculous. So this is a nice way I can get a very small package with solid 8+1 capacity of those Aguila mini shells and not have to break the law or deal with the NFA. As far as cons, I don't really have any major cons. Again, I wish this particular model, the handguard on it had an M-lock slot. Again, some of the other versions do, and the aftermarket support is there if I want to swap it out, but I wish it had it on here. There is some rusting on this model, on the trigger and on the barrel. Again, I bought this used. God knows what it went through before I got it. It could have been outdoor every day on a farm or something, I don't know. But do me a favor, if you own a Mossberg Shockwave, drop it in the comments, tell me what you think about it, and more importantly, tell me if you're seeing any rust on your barrel and on your trigger. Now, this definitely is an older one, so I would like to know if it's a one-off issue for the way it was treated by the previous owner, or if a lot of them are experiencing rusting issues. What else do I got for you? Uses. Obviously, the biggest use for this is home defense and self-defense. Again, just make sure you practice a lot with it and you know how it pattens, and make a great breaching tool as well. One more time, just make sure your training with it is spot on. It's a little different than a traditional shotgun. That's all I have for you today. It's a couple people I want to thank. Most important, I want to thank myself. I treated myself. I haven't bought a new firearm for myself in a long time, actually, and I treated myself to a Shockwave, and I'm happy. I love these little shotguns. I also want to thank my Patreon supporters. They are the supplier of most of the ammo on this page, which is a huge help because ammo is so damn expensive. I also want to thank the companies who support me with affiliate links. Their support is greatly appreciated. If you want to know what reviews I'm working on right now in real time before they come out, consider following me on Instagram, Facebook, Parler, and on TikTok. Those are the 4 social media channels I am on currently. More important than anything else, thank you guys for watching. It is greatly appreciated. Every time you like, comment, subscribe, enable the bell notifications, anytime you guys do any of that stuff, it truly helps this channel out, and I truly appreciate it. I will see you guys next time. It's hot and I need to go jump in that pool. Peace.